Are you a health educator and you just love being able to share with others about health and nutrition or lifestyle or fitness or whatever your topic of expertise is, but when it comes to charging a price for your health advice, it feels a little awkward, it feels uncomfortable? Like, you love serving people, but when it comes to selling people, it just feels kind of icky or uncomfortable, like you don't know what to do. When it comes to teaching, like you could teach health all day, but when it comes to charging a price or asking for that fee, then you feel guilty. Well, today we are going to be talking about how to charge your health clients without feeling guilty. We're going to be addressing a lot of the challenges that holds people back, and from really serving at the highest level. In fact, we're going to look at the number one mistake preventing health educators from serving at the highest level, and recognize that in your business, is if you're a health professional, whether you're a health coach, a health author, a health speaker, a wellness educator, there are two sides of the coin, if you will. On one side of the coin, you have your message. That's your mission. That's your passion. That's your message you want to get out to the masses. But on the other side of the coin, you have the money. You have the marketing. You have the monetization. And the reality is that if you don't make the money, you can't sustain your message. So we want to be able to learn how to monetize that knowledge so that we are able to get that message to the masses, to the people that you're called to serve. And what we are going to be looking at is in Proverbs chapter 11, King Solomon, who was the wisest and wealthiest man who ever lived in human history, he said this statement that, and first of all, do you think we can learn a thing or two from the wisest and wealthiest man to ever live in human history? Yeah, I think he knows a thing or two about a thing or two. And what he shows in the book of Proverbs, that if you have a solution that's able to transform someone's life, then you have a moral obligation to sell that to as many people as you can, as fast as you can. In verse 26, it says, "He that withholdeth the corn, the people shall curse him, but blessing shall be upon the head of him that selleth it." Now notice, it doesn't say he that giveth it away. What is the corn? The corn is the Bible word for wheat. It's talking about bread. It's talking about this bread of life, that which is sustaining health and the substance and nutrition. And it's showing that if you have something that can benefit others, you have a moral obligation to sell it. And there's a blessing on those who sell it. So really, recognize that God wants to bless your sales. He wants to bless your business where you are making transactions with people that transform their health, their life, their message. And so what we see is that selling is a good idea because selling is a God idea. Selling is a good idea because selling is a God idea. When we recognize that selling is actually God's plan to help his children to be able to buy what they desire. In fact, I like how Luke 13, verse 45, you can see throughout Scripture, God speaks of selling. And as selling is God's established plan for you to create wealth, selling is God's established plan for you to be able to buy what you desire. In Luke 13:45, Jesus told a parable, and he says again, the kingdom of heaven is like unto a merchant man. Who's a merchant man? That's a salesperson, and he's seeking goodly pearls. Who, verse 46, when he had found one pearl of great price, went and sold all that he had and bought it. So in other words, a principle we can see in this parable is that God desires for us, in order for you to buy what you desire, you must sell what you have. And many of you have health knowledge. You might have health supplements. You have a health book, a coaching program, a course. You have a health speaking ability. You have knowledge that you want to learn to monetize online. And this is the thing that we really help health educators to learn how to package their knowledge into premium programs that people actually desire to pay them for. So that's what the pearl of great price, one of the things that we learn there is that the reason why people struggle to buy what they desire, maybe they desire coaching, maybe they desire a team or professional help, or maybe they desire to spread the marketing, their message even further to reach more people. The reason people have a hard time buying what they desire is because they have a hard time selling what they have. And once we learn to sell and learn to sell well, then that is what's able to create the increase that you're able to reinvest in taking your message, your mission to the masses that you're called to serve. So another way that you could think about it is if you have a solution that can help people, like imagine you've got a detox program and you're able to help people through your program to lower their blood sugar naturally, to lower their high blood pressure naturally, to lose weight, to feel great, to transform their body. Maybe the person who your ideal client is, they don't like their weight, when they don't like the person they see in the mirror. They avoid photos because they don't feel that they're photogenic. They think upside down. Then you have a moral obligation to sell it to them. And if you don't sell it to them, you're doing a disservice to them if you're not selling them, because what you're essentially doing is you're forcing them to go to your competitors who are not going to serve them the way that you can, who won't love them as much as you can, who doesn't have a solution that's as effective and as yours is, that you know that you can love your people the way that no one else can. And if you do not sell them, you're forcing them to go to someone else or a different company that's not going to help them the way that you can. And they'll be glad to sell to your ideal clients. But what I want you to see is that when you are selling people, you're actually serving them. You're introducing them to a new normal, because people buy solutions to problems that they have, meaning that there is a situation where they are now and where they want to be, and there's a gap between what their experience is and what they want to be, and what you're doing is you're selling to help them to close that gap. So when you sell, know that you're introducing them to a new reality, a healthier version of them. Feel good about that. That's something that you're doing that's what you're doing to help serve them. And so, like, I want to know, how many of you are ready to serve people through your health message? Type serve in the comments below if you can start to see, like, I'm so ready to serve people. I'm ready to help them. And you're starting to see that selling and service, they don't have to be opposite of each other. They could be part of the same path. In fact, I like the way that Zig Ziglar puts it. He understood it was in the context of when he has like a 60-minute speech. Let's say he's going to speak to an audience. He's going to teach. What a lot of people do is they, like what I used to do my first 5 years of being a health educator, traveling around the nation, doing cooking classes, health lectures, and seminars. And I would teach people, and my goal would be like, I'm going to give them everything that I know about the subject in 60 minutes or less. But what that ended up doing is it didn't create sales. Two, it didn't inspire action, and people weren't buying at the end of those messages. I would teach, and I used to think that the best thing that I could do is just give them everything I've got. Kind of like that whole just fire hose and just let it go, right? But that wasn't really effective. And what Zig Ziglar says is that he knows that if I don't sell them, then I cannot serve them. And what he's talking about is really to make these health transformations is not going to be, the whole drastic transformation of their life isn't going to be done in just a 60-minute speech. There's going to be new habits. There's going to be new, sometimes new recipes or change of diet. Maybe there's new skills to develop. There's mindsets and beliefs and identities that need to be shifted in order to become the person who can do the healthy action to have the health they desire. So that's best to be delivered through, say, like a coaching program that's able to follow up through maybe an on-demand pre-recorded series or an audio series that people can listen to as they go, as they drive, as they work in the garden, as they do their daily chores, as they're working with their hands and not actively engaging their brain. I love to listen to podcasts, audiobooks, listen to coaching programs and courses, and just be able to learn new skills. And that's what is really going to transform the person's life, is if they can Zig Ziglar realized that if I can sell them, that's one of the best things that I can do in those 60 minutes, is to help communicate in a way that makes people want to say yes to the next step, yes to to working together longer term where I could really start to transform their life, really start to work on their beliefs, their behaviors, and their body, and making lasting change. And this is a mindset shift. When I started to shift the way that I communicate, I found that people were more engaged. I started telling more stories. I was able to capture their attention more, relate more, and people bought more. I was amazed. And these are the skills that helped me to be making $10,000 a month in my early 20s. It's because facts tell, but stories sell. Learning how to tell stories in a way that inspires hope, that helps overcome buying objections, that helps move people closer to their dream, their goals, and to the sale, because really there's transformation in the transactions. This is exactly the transformation that I was able to work with Alpha and Shantoya Stewart. They are students of mine. Before they came to me, they were international wellness speakers, and Alpha has been presenting. He's been speaking for a while, and what he used to do is he used to tell everybody everything that he knows in 60 minutes or less, or whenever he's speaking. And when I told my story, he's like, "That's exactly what I was doing. I was telling them everything." And when Shantoya's on a consultation call, she just give him everything that she's got, but they weren't really creating the sales. They were making minimal sales, and there was less people that they're able to help through their solutions and their programs. And I shared with them how one reason is because when you give people a big list of things to do, and you're explaining all of this how to, and the more that you teach, the less people want to buy, because then they feel like overwhelmed. They get this information overwhelmed. They feel like they got this big old checklist they got to go do. And now when you're like, and then you could buy this program, they're like, no, I got to finish the homework that you already gave me first before I even consider investing in that. But then realizing that they don't have the beliefs to support those actions. They don't have the habits, the skills, the support, the accountability to hold them to it. That's a lot of new stuff. You're asking people to make major changes. So them walking away with a big to-do list isn't going to transform their life. Them being able to give them strong reasons to change, that's what's going to help them to prioritize, because if their why is strong enough, people will figure out the how. And if their why is strong enough, what you could do is you can give the information but sell the implementation. And because that implementation is best to be guided through, to walk them through, to show them how they could become the person who could do the things so they can have the results that they're looking for. So this is their situation. They were making minimal sales, but they attended my signature speech workshop. In this workshop, I showed them how to craft one signature speech that is optimized to educate people, the audience, closer to a sale. So it's overcoming buying objections in advance, so that as you're communicating, it feels like content, because it is, but it's also preparing their mind to see value in their back-end offer. So we crafted them a signature speech, and then what happened is within the next week, they spoke at an event where he sold more at their next event than he did in the last 12 years of speaking before. He not only sold more, he sold out. And there was back ordered online on their online store where people, they had their booth, they sold out of the products there. People started going on their website. They had more people from a physical event going to their website, buying out all their supplements, buying out their programs, and they had to put it on weight. That's a good problem to have, because before they came here, they weren't selling out. They weren't they weren't having that. They were making some sales, and it was kind of nice, but then learning how to sell at virtual and live events with a signature message. This is how we've been able to build our company to over $500,000 in profit on the back of one signature speech. The key is you don't change your message, you change the audience. And it feels like a new message to your audience, because it is to them. But it's optimized. It's really effective in being able to create more sales. This is what we help health educators to do, to go from overlooked to overbooked. Now, with them having those back orders, now that's a problem. But hey, that's a better quality problem, right? And while most health educators, they do not have their calendar scheduled with speaking engagements, with people buying, like knocking on their door, begging for them to sell. And they're like, please, I want to access this. I need what you have to offer. They don't have an oversubscribed business. But how many of you would like to have oversubscribed products and programs when you speak at an event? Type me in the chat below if this is something that you would like to have, because this is really powerful to be able to go through. This is what Alpha said after attending our signature speech workshop. He said, I have been teaching health for over 12 years. And after going through Enoch speaker training, I've sold more products at my last event following Enoch training than I have at any other event in the last 12 years. And it's so exciting because we get to coach with them. And they got on our coaching call and he said that. He's like, wow, this is amazing. And it's great because when you follow the principles work. They don't care what you're selling. As if you have a message, a health solution that's able to transform people's lives, then following the principles of persuasion, they work. And not only that, his wife got on and she was saying, look, I raised my prices and sold more products online and offline. She was afraid. She thought that by raising her prices, she'd get less sales. But a lot of times, one of the reasons why people have a hard time believing you can help them or applying your advice is because they have no skin in the game, or your prices are too low. You're promising premium results that if they go to the hospital, they're going to charge tens of thousands of dollars to surgically remove, or $100 a pill for drugs that they're going to be prescribing. And then here you are trying to give your advice for free or really cheap, so then people don't believe that you're able to actually help them. And so what Alpha and Shintoya did is they raised their prices, and they found their current clients not only continued to pay, but they also got more buyers who paid at the higher price. And they're like, this is amazing. We've got more buyers than before. And I tell people, if you're struggling to attract paying clients, one of the levers you can pull in business is raise your prices. And they're like, what? That sounds counterintuitive. Like, that doesn't make sense. I'm going to raise my prices, then less people will buy. Well, not necessarily. When you raise your prices, they start to believe that what you have to offer, you really believe in your offer. Your pricing reflects your belief in your ability to transform people's lives. So that is like, just if you double your prices, you double your business. All things being equal, same leads, same conversions, same customers, same audience, same everything. And the same message, if you double your prices, your business has just doubled in size and in profit and revenue. So that is a lever that a lot of health educators don't usually think about. And I'm not just talking about raising your prices without having the value. I would submit that most health educators, they already have the value, they have the knowledge, they have the credibility, but they don't really see the value in what they have. But the reality is, if you don't see the value in what you have to offer, then the marketplace, they don't see value through their eyes, they see value through your eyes. They see your reflection, your limited prices is a reflection of your limited belief in your ability to transform their lives. So when you raise your price, then they even perceive that there's a greater value in that too. In fact, in my book on high-ticket health coaching, I teach you how you can craft a high-ticket, irresistible high-ticket offer, and it shows how value works. We go through in this book and we talk about how you can make sure that the value you're asking for is really 10 times greater than the price that you're charging. And as long as the value is 10 times more than the price, people will buy again and again and again. In fact, I had the opportunity to interview Alpha and Shintoya on my video podcast. And on YouTube, it's how my students raised their prices and sold more than ever before. If their experience resonates with you and you hear it and you're like, wow, that was really powerful. I like this. I want to know more. And they shared their journey. They shared what they did. They shared about some of the fears they had, the concerns they had. Then they expressed in more detail about what they did. and how they move forward, and how it was really able to transform their business, their influence, their message. And if I would encourage you to go take a look at this video on YouTube, because you're going to get a lot of powerful insights from these two powerhouse couples. And then also, I would encourage you to grab a copy of my book on high-ticket health coaching. I put together this book so that you can learn how to communicate, craft your signature speech, how you can increase your prices, or how you can charge a price for your health advice. Wherever you are, whether you're starting in the health education field, if you've been years and you're ready to get to the next level, this book on high-ticket health coaching will show you the secrets to be able to make big money with a small audience. This is how we were able to make $500,000 with no email list, a very small following online, and hardly anybody knows who I am, but our business on the back of a signature speech, and being able to serve over 15,000 paying clients. And then recognize too that when you are, just like with Alpha and Shantoya, if I did not sell them, I could not have served them. I couldn't have had this testimony. I couldn't have had, they wouldn't have been able to impact the people's lives that they're called to serve. So what I want you to realize is that selling is not something you do to someone. Selling is something you do for someone. And when you recognize that selling is your moral obligation to serve people, then it starts to, the sleaziness, you start to realize selling doesn't have to be sleazy. Selling can be service, and it can allow you to serve people at the highest level. So definitely grab a copy of my book on high-ticket health coaching, because in this book, I'm going to show you the health marketing principles of modern methods that's working now. And the way I look at health marketing is bringing your message to the masses. This is our mission. We're here to help holistic health educators to take your message to the masses, and we are deeply invested, my team and I, in helping you to succeed. And I genuinely want to see you thrive, because I believe there are many people who are literally dying to know what you have to share with them. So what we've looked at is how to charge your health clients without feeling guilty. And if you're ready to charge a fee guilt-free, then apply these principles. And I look forward to hearing from you. Comment book in the comments below if you would like to grab a copy of the book, and I'll happy to share it, or check the link in our description. But until then, friends, remember, God doesn't call the qualified, He qualifies the called. Have a great day, and God bless.